Is this when the cryptocurrency market and XRP will at last flip? Plus a new XRP ETF is up, and China is halting this now. Shalom cash producers. Hello lovely folks. Good Friday, correct? It's Good Friday, not Freaky Friday today. Throughout the globe, with no stock market today, all attention will be on the crypto market. As we complete the week with the Fear and Greed Index on the stock market at 21, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 33, it will be quite fascinating to see what happens. Things are looking a little bit better, but you can see there's lots of green. Although this one, it's kind of smelly in here. It's down 15%. Trump coin is unlocking some soon. It will be fascinating to observe how that influence. Look at that. Look at how that was forecast there. Seeing what happens here with XRP in the short term will be quite fascinating, and we'll discuss someone who has accurately forecasted this present cycle quite straight. What will turn the crypto market? What will turn altcoins from a more Bitcoin season, correct? At 16, back to altcoin season, where we were back in December, we're truly in Bitcoin season now. Of course, when XRP and the rest of the altcoin market were pumping, what will turn us onto that? Naturally, everyone wants to know that. Members of the XRP community are struggling, some folks are losing. Given XRP's declining popularity, it's reasonable. I understand when the price movement is somewhat dull, then individuals are on vacation, over a spring break or whatever sort of vacation, particularly in Europe now there's a vacation. It's going to be quite fascinating to watch as we enter next week. Holidays are finished, events are returning, season is over, and we can maybe move into a new stage here in the crypto market. It will be quite fascinating. And I came across this video of the bull run is over. Let's sell, and occasionally you simply have to zoom out. I don't know how, if it's going to play out exactly like this. Right, of course. And of course you should always do your own due diligence before you choose to invest. This is not financial advice, but I hold XRP long-term holder of XRP, crypto. Certainly I say I'm always swing trading, day trading on particular assets if I see an opportunity, but in general I'm long-term holding my assets and I'm not really too concerned about short-term movements. I've been up a lot, down a lot in the middle many times, and I've found that long-term investing has worked for me. I haven't had yet, a microcap that I bought, that went to a few $1 million, and I haven't had a stock that in a short period of time that I buy, and then suddenly at 10x in a week. I have not encountered that. Stocks I've held for 10 years have 10x, but it's been a long time, 10 years of holding. Those sorts of things have therefore produced good outcomes for me, and constitute the information I must use. Everyone will be fortunate at times, but only a handful actually win the lottery. There's only a few that put money into that unique one doing the 10,000x, return, and more times than none. About 99% of the time, it goes to zero and it doesn't go. And even large meme coins like Trump coin, which might return, but this is just a classic example of a hyped up meme coin that appears and then sells off. So we'll see. We will see how this plays out over time. It will be quite fascinating. Justin Hashkey Capital announces launch of Asia's first XRP tracker fund with Ripple as early backers. This is thus a collaboration between Hashkey and Ripple to have a first Asia tracking fund. It's more a fund tracking XRP's price than an actual ETF. This will be true for Asian markets. XRP is very, very hot and heavy in the Asia markets. The most activity we know is in South Korea. I believe that I read lately that one of the South Korean exchanges, the name is now out of my head, has the most XRP as an exchange. Correct, since they had to support the customer's assets. That was quite fascinating. I forget what it was called. I forget which exchange. You know what, let me check that quickly. If I recall correctly, I believe it was somewhat higher, but it's something that can change. But for now it seems that the Asian markets, especially South Korea, are very, into XRP, and it will be very interesting to see how all of this, plays out in the next 5 to 10 years, with the Asian markets opening up a little bit more, to the cryptocurrency market. We also have, a continuation or a new data from China. The China halt stops all United States liquefied natural gas purchases. That meant we learned they were halting export of certain minerals. Now they're halting liquefied natural gas import from the United States of America though. So for now, until they reach a deal, it appears that these ongoing stories regarding halting of exporting and importing will continue. I have also observed some headlines discussing how supply chains will suffer in the next few quarters, and how particular items items will be seen less and less on the shelves, just due to importers and exporters recalibration on bringing in products. They might still release the products for the next 3-4 months if there is a surplus, but then there could be a shortage of particular items manufactured in China, or particular components of items manufactured in China, and then they have to recalibrate and attempt to determine how they might alter that. Therefore the consumer will find it somewhat problematic, regarding the supply chain. We don't have to have things correct. If food mostly is made in America and it's more clothing may have problems and such, but for the most part I believe people will be fine. They will look for substitutes until everything is smoothed out. It will be fascinating to see how it influences prices, whether for good or bad, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how all that plays out. Now let's discuss before that, fascinating BlackRock ETF, kept purchasing 964 Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin has been rather consistent here for the last several days, hugging the 85,000 range, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 roughly a week. XRP dropped a little, then bounced back up a little more, but essentially in this 207 range for XRP you can see it keeps trending up, basically sitting with the rest of the crypto market. Although we did get a sell signal here because of the moving averages in the midterm and the 30-day that are telling us sell, we have observed how XRP goes suddenly from a sell to a buy and a strong buy. It can happen in a few hours. It simply depends on how the market responds. There's no stock market trading today, so we'll meet again. Thus could liquidity be shifting to the crypto market, or are traders going to sit back and relax and enjoy a long weekend? That might be possible here. Tell me, do you get off in the US, in Europe, in UK, Canada? Are you off on Good Friday? Is it like a holiday, a national holiday, or is it just no stock markets since it's a religious holiday? Right. It relates to Easter, but is it a day with no work, no school, correct, and things like that? Tell me in the comment area below. I could have dirty and taken Benjamin's view on this, but of course I always like to share with you guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the views of others, correct? Hearing my views is not only important, you should also go see Benjamin. He's been rather accurate about this market, and keeps claiming that these two things have to happen until altcoin season will play out. He has